Coming up today on This Is True Really News, missed it by that much.
Don Adams?
No. The
Maxwell Smart.
The series of stories at Tennessee Tuxedo. The series of Google it. The series of I don't even need you to interrupt me anymore. That's how bad it is.
Chumley.
Please like, subscribe, and follow This Is True Really News because we think you'll get a kick out of this fiddly-dee and folderol.
And who was remember the little short?
You mentioned him before, and I don't remember who
He was a little short military guy, did all the adventures around the world. And
I can't remember.
Okay, fine.
I'll have to look
Sheila.
This is True Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true,
Really?
as far as you know.
In Nebraska, officials are trying to figure out why when you look at one end of the state, you can see the other.
Because it's downhill from any border.
Wherever you are. In Nebraska, officials trying to figure out what happened to 16 million gallons of water from the Cambridge Canal, according to the AP. Oh. Now I feel like I should have checked this story closer.
Okay.
Since the AP can't figure out what a satire site is. Brad Edgerton, general manager of the Frenchman Cambridge Irrigation District, and wow, that fits on a business card nice, checked his computer on the evening of August 13th. The canal was flowing at its usual rate.
Okay.
By the morning, the flow had been cut in half. So Edgerton did what Edgertons do. He drove to the dam and discovered that someone had opened the dam's two 10-foot sluice gates. Sluice, by the way, is one of those words that's just fun to say.
Yep.
And which is odd because it's spelled just like juice, except you take J, put it. Juice isn't that fun, but sluice is fun to say.
Yeah, because you get the SL,
Yep.
and then an S at the end. So sluice.
So basically, with those two sluice gates open,
Maybe that's
the
why I
water-
slice so much when I golf.
you sluice when you golf?
I slice. I just kind of must like the sound of it.
Two 10-foot, with those two sluice gates open, water was now escaping down the Republican River.
And we can't let the Republicans have anything.
Furness County Sheriff Doug Brown said he could only guess why someone would release the water, but wouldn't. The investigation continues. Well, what are you going to do today, Fred? I don't know. Do a drink? Yeah, let's drink. What do you want to do now? Let's go open some sluice gates somewhere.
That's right. Let's find some sluice gates, though.
See if we can't mess with people's livelihoods or something.
Missed it by that much. The Guardian, Tuesday, January 29, 1974. Remember that date.
January 29, 1974. Got it.
Space satellites show new ice age coming fast. By Anthony Tucker, science correspondent.
Dum, dum, dum.
Here I am following
Actually,
the
that's not quite. It should be dum, dum, dum.
Should just be dumb.
Dum, da, dum, dum.
Worldwide and rapid trends toward a mini ice age are emerging from the first long-term analysis of satellite weather pictures. Of potentially great importance to energy strategies and to agriculture, but barely observable yet in Britain because our weather is strongly buffered by the Atlantic. A preliminary analysis carried out at Columbia University, New York, by the European climatologists Drs. George and Helena Kulka indicates that snow and ice cover of the Earth increased by 12% during 1967 to 1972.
Isn't that special?
This appears to be in keeping with that was like the longest damn sentence I'd ever seen in my life.
They used to do great long sentences, but they knew how to punctuate them.
This appears to be in keeping with the other long-term climatic changes, all of which suggest that after reaching a climax of warmth between 1935 and 1955, world average temperatures are now falling, but the rate of increase of snow and ice cover is much faster than would be expected from the other trends. Okay, so we're in 2022, and this is from January 29th, 1974. So this is
58 years old.
58 years old. And we froze.
Again.
Doggone it.
See, I was torn back in the 70s. It was always difficult if you were going to starve to death from overpopulation or freeze to death from the new ice age. And then we found out it was all wrong. They were warming up and we're going to melt.
and the rapidity at which that pivot was made was like jaw-dropping.
It was like watching Elgin Baylor in his prime.
We're gonna freeze fry.
No, you see what happened though?
What?
First there was heat until 55.
Yeah.
Now we were going to freeze.
Yep.
And that got boring, so we were going to starve.
Yep. And that got boring.
And that got dull because now we put a hole in the ozone and we're going to probably burn to death.
Yeah.
Then we figured out it was just climate change because the U.S. drives cars.
Yeah.
Not anything to do with, China or Russia.
Or anybody else for that.
No, nothing. I was going to say Canada, but do they produce anything in Canada?
They produce some cars.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, other than Canadians, what do they produce, really?
Some cars and good beer.
Well,
I like Molson.
I would agree with that, but, Trudeau's been in power for a while now.
I don't care about Trudeau. I just like...
I'm afraid he can mess up most anything.
I like that you have to go to the cold beer store to buy beer.
It's nothing like Great Britain where you go to the warm beer store to buy beer.
Well, that would be the local pub.
Yes, it would. Oh, my. Where was I now?
You were starting your story.
5-year-olds everywhere rejoice. You can now scream poop at Alexa, and she'll respond with an actual song or several from Spotify or Amazon Music. BuzzFeed News reports when Joe Helpish, as opposed to Joey non-helpish? Is helpish mean you help, sort of? Kind of, a little bit.
Joey unhelpish.
Anyway, when Joey Helpish and his partner, Kristen Muir, realized the potential for such tunes, they went to work with their music students in Oregon. He said, we did a big songwriting session with these kids. I said, give me 5 syllables to start. Then the little 4-year-old girl screamed, poopy, stupid butt. 4-year-old, what do you expect? Can't vote, can't drink, can't smoke, but you can change your gender. They added the song to Amazon Music and didn't think much more about it until they were strapped for cash.
Mm-hmm.
And Helpish checked his account with the online music provider. They'd been making about $100 a month.
Holy Pete.
Until COVID hit and kids were home more.
And then,
to date, the income from Poopy Stupid Butt has amounted to about $10,000. Dude, they have out-earned us.
Well, okay, which gives me my own idea. I think we ought to come up with a jousting song.
Well, that would be very hip and current, I'm sure.
And we use no, we do it in a very special way. We don't face each other. We face away from each other. And each of us leans forward and we use our flatu lance.
Our what? Oh, get away from me. Go sit in the corner.
Our next set of criminal nincompoops.
Hang on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The composers of tunes such as Poop, 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 Poop Song. Yes, that's 4 poops followed by song.
See, flatulence is pretty incredibly creative, I got to tell you.
That was Matt Farley, by the way. Believe that their hits are largely attributable to
kids.
The preschool crowd.
Yeah.
Because Amazon Music is the default music provider attached to Alexa.
Yeah, that's true.
Farley says it's got to be Alexa. Amazon Music isn't something big music fans would use.
I use it. I'm a huge music fan.
Yeah, but you also like the word poop, so...
I like flatulence.
Carry on, my wayward son.
Our next set of criminal nincompoops decided to conceal their identities. It's generally a good idea when one is engaged in nefarious activity.
Why do you think they wear masks?
The men considered masks, hoods, and balaclavas. Typical uniform for the criminal class.
Or terrorists.
Instead, they chose to draw on their faces with permanent markers.
Shrewd move.
While it may have made them hard to recognize during the crime,
made them easier to recognize later?
Well, and
it was, after all,
permanent
marker. Yeah.
Yeah. And the police got up with him about 8 seconds later.
Stupid is as stupid does.
And the guys tried to escape by attacking the policemen with their flatulences.
Get away from me. You're not sitting in the corner yet. Why is that?
I farted over there and I'm afraid to go back.
That would explain a lot. See, actually, we're just 8-year-olds.
I think that's true.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.